UK youth, a striking 54% today, believe that Israel shouldn't exist. We have seen the most deranged behavior from Israelis. And I'm not just even talking soldiers. We've seen deranged behavior from soldiers, but we've seen deranged mothers on TikTok dressing up their children, with black eyes and missing teeth, or making fun of parents losing babies. We've seen soldiers urinating on Palestinian captives, children attacked by dogs, sexual assault, rape. At a certain point, for those of us who are looking at Israeli society, this is looking psychotic. Are Israelis aware that public perception today of Israel is of a deeply depraved society? I mean, you can put all the Hasbro spin that you want on this. There is no putting lipstick on a pig. UK youth are striking 54%.
Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, L'chakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and you just saw there another example of Amalek being exposed. They're going into the atrocities that are committed over there and how they use that word, to the anti-S word, to try to cover it all up and to try to pretend like they're in the right. But people are seeing this, especially with what's going on in Gaza currently. But Amalek is being exposed. I've got another
UK youth
showing more exposure on Amalek. And these are all what appear to be Edomites going in on Amalek. So let's listen to this one.
Yo, is this the Prime Minister of Israel? We gotta take the nukes back. You ever try that before? I don't think anybody has.
We're God's chosen people, so that's why half of our religion is just tricking God.
The USS Liberty. We're going back into the classics vault for the original. This is Jerry Seinfeld's fantasy.
Well, they have the Sampson option.
Yeah. They have like these tanks that shoot like a fire hose of dookie water.
Here's the documents all of a sudden we got for you for no reason at all.
Lord Freud says, King of the Gripers, what are your commands, your lordship?
Destroy
Israel's really up against it right now with all this Hamas stuff.
Are they flying in on the lawnmowers again?
Israel's got it pretty bad right now.
Really?
I think they need our help.
Well, let's help out as much as we can.
Why don't they just use nukes?
Well, they have the Sampson option.
What is that? That's when they threaten the entire world and we're supposed to believe that they're in control of the whole world?
Yeah.
Like some comic book supervillain, really?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean?
That's if they ever gets bad enough, they'll nuke the whole world.
That's what they say. They say this in public and you're like this hearing it. Wow.
It's like a fat kid who loses in basketball that he just like shoots the basketball.
He nukes the school.
Yeah. The Sampson option is the nuclear strategy whereby Israel would launch a massive nuclear retaliatory strike if the state itself was being overrun.
Is the Sampson option a euphemism for taking down the two temples of masonry or the two pillars or something like that? Or is it some sort of a weird thing? I'm real scared of this. I'm so scared I could cry. Nukes? Whoa, yo. A total apocalypse? Whoa, yo. I'll do anything you say. Just don't do that. Yeah, right. Please do it. Do it. Go ahead. Try to live in the mountains. You're still going to hell.
And you see, these are just regular people actually talking about some of the plans that the Amalekites have. The Amalekites being the small hatters, with the rest of Edom being so-called white people. And they're being exposed. They're being exposed as being the devil. That first clip showed or talked about some of the atrocities that they've committed. And this one goes into what they have in store, what they plan to do if they're ever fully exposed and losing in war. They want to take everybody out with them. And so let's get into what the Sampson option is. It says the Sampson option is Israel's deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons as a last resort against a country whose military has invaded and or destroyed much of Israel. commentators also have employed the term to refer to situations where non-nuclear, non-Israeli actors have threatened conventional weapons retaliation. And so, if the state of Israel is ever in a losing war, they plan to just unleash everything they've got and try to destroy everyone with them, just like Sampson did with the two pillars. And as he pushed them apart, the Lord gave him strength, and he pushed the pillars down, which destroyed everyone in the building. And that's basically what this Israeli state plans to do. And we're drawing closer and closer to that, considering the state of Israel is trying to start war with Iran now. And that's all biblical. There will be a war, and it will, with them doing that, they will draw out America, because it's prophecy that the least of the flock, these Israelis, would draw America into it. So there's a Sampson option. Let's get into the scriptures. It's Habakkuk 2 and 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory, because they have gloried in being the Lord's chosen people, but they're actually not. They're the people that the Lord hates the most. They've gloried in the violence that they've committed, and they've been showing it around the world with Gaza, but people are looking at them like, hey, these are our atrocities. These are terrible things that you're doing. It talks about how violence compasseth them as a chain or as a garment. And people are seeing what they are. They've also gloried in their history, which is not even their history. They've gloried in being high up within society, but the truth is the true Israelites would not be high up in society during this time of the Gentiles. They would be very low, but they've been able to change that around and making people think that they are what they're not, which is the Lord's people. They are not. It says, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. They are exposed. They're becoming more and more exposed. It says, the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. They've gloried in being at the top of these industries, like the entertainment industry, but people are realizing that's just filth and it's affecting society. They've gloried in being at the top of the banking system, but that's all corrupt, and the dollar is dying. The whole monetary system is dying, and it goes back to Amalek's greed. They're being exposed and shamed for everything they've done, and the Lord is not done. There's a lot more that has to come out, and there's a lot more shame to be cast on these people. They've gloried in, the Edomites as a whole have gloried in their Christianity, but the Lord is not a so-called white man, and that's being put in their faces, as well as how it incorporates all sorts of pagan beliefs and holidays. That's being thrown back on them. It's everything they've built up is a lie, and these lies are being exposed, and they will be shamed for it. They're trying to get out of it now, but there's really nothing that could be done. And even having the Sampson option shows that they are not the Lord's people. Because when the true Israelites return, there's going to be peace on earth. There won't be any more war. And as the Lord says here in Jeremiah 30 and 10, none shall make them afraid. But these people are so afraid that they have a plan called the Sampson option. It says, therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob. They're not Jacob. They are Esau, Jacob's brother. So saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. When did this happen for Amalek, the small hatters? didn't. They set up their own Balfour Declaration and put that land into their own hands. But the Lord would have to be the person, or the Lord would have to be behind returning the true Israelites, who are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as are scattered, to the land of Israel. It's going to be done via the hand of the Lord, but they did it via their own hand. You could say it's through the hand of the Lord on the left-hand side for prophecy's sake, but none of it fits right-hand prophecy. They're the Edomites that would take over that land. You could go to Ezekiel 36 and 5 and see that Idumea has parted the Lord's land. It says, "And Jacob shall return and be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid." But these people have a Sampson option. These people are constantly at war. They're not the Israelites, because there would be no war, and there would be no need for a Sampson option if they were the true biblical people. But they're not. They're the wicked that has taken over the Lord's land, in which the wicked, go to Malachi 1 and 4, see that they shall be called the border of wickedness, this being the Edomites, so-called white people, and these small hatters. They've taken over the land and are exhibiting all amounts of corruptness over there. This is Isaiah 26 and 10. "Let favor be showed to the wicked." And they're in a highly favored position right now. They're at the top of society, all of Edom. And yes, they're still poor Edomites, but overall, they have the high position within the earth. And then the tribe of Amalek has even higher position, in which they own these different industries, or run these different industries. They're most likely to be CEOs in a Fortune 500 company. They are high up and run the entertainment branch, so all music and entertainment, movies. They run the banking system as well. They're in a highly favored position, but which makes people think that they are the Lord's people, but the wicked would be favored in this time. It says, "Yet will he not learn righteousness." They say the laws are done away with, and they use their own Talmud instead of the Bible over there in the land of Israel. It says, "In the land of uprightness," which is the land of Israel, "will he deal unjustly." And we are watching that with Gaza and trying to starve out babies and children, and the old people. They're dealing unjustly. And ultimately, they want to have or use this Sampson option, which would not be needed if they were the true people. It says, "And will not behold the majesty of the Lord," because they should be having faith and trust in the Lord that he's going to keep them there if they were the people. But seeing that they're not the people, and knowing the prophecies that they're going to be spewed out of that land and it's going to be set on fire, they don't behold the majesty of the Lord. They go against everything that he set up, which he said was good. They say it's not right. They put a woman over a man. That goes against divine order. They have Pink City there in Tel Aviv. That goes against the Lord's law, statutes, commandments with the alphabets. They do everything wrong. They eat what they call kosher swine over there. That's an unclean food that the Lord said not to touch or not to eat. They don't behold the majesty of the Lord, and they deal unjustly, and they're in a highly favored position. These are the Edomites over there. Finish it up here in Ezekiel 38. Because Russia is going to get you guys. Russia and its bands. Let's get this. Ezekiel 38, and 8 from the NLT. It says, a long time from now, you will be called into action. This is speaking to Gog and Magog. Or Gog of Magog. This is the Russians with their bands that are spoken of higher up in the chapter. It says, in the distant future, you will swoop down on the land of Israel. So all these Amalekites that are dwelling there currently, thinking they're the Lord's people, the Lord's going to have Russia root you out. It says, which will be enjoying peace after recovering from war. And currently, I'll go back. Currently, this is Hamas and Witkoff agree on permanent Gaza ceasefire. And so, maybe this comes soon, considering there's a ceasefire. I saw that the Israelis don't want it, but there is a ceasefire so that prophecy can continue. It says, which will be enjoying peace after recovering from war. They are in and coming into a time of peace. But the scripts say, when they shall say peace and safety, then all hell will break loose, or sudden destruction shall come. Or will this happen soon? Because these people need to be judged. They touched the apple of the Lord's eye, considering they owned the majority of the slave ships we came over here on, and they were the majority of the slave owners, the Amalekites. They also unforgivably stole our heritage, and they put it on themselves. They get judged. It's just something people have to deal with. Of course they get judged. Why wouldn't they be judged? They've done something unforgivable. Yeah, they get judged. And the Lord's going to have Russia turn onto the land of Israel, and they're going to be nuked. All of them that are there. And then it says, and after its people have returned from many lands to the mountains of Israel. Because that's going into the kingdom of heaven, with the true Israelites being brought back to that land. But these are not the Israelites that are there currently. Those are Amalekites. Those are the people that the Lord hates. We'll read it again from in the KJV, Ezekiel 38:8. After many days thou shalt be visited, speaking to Gog and Magog, Russia, and its troops, its bands, its allies. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel. Mountains go into governments, which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Because after it's wasted by the nukes via Russia, after the land of Israel is wasted by the nukes via Russia, then the Lord's going to have it, or it will be purified via the nukes, because fire is a cleansing agent. And then the Lord, once it's purified, the Lord will set his own people, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as are scattered in that land, and order will be restored to this earth, going from Israel. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. You can see these Edomites are being exposed, especially these Amalekites. They are being exposed. And with that, they're going to come down with great wrath eventually. Who knows if the Sampson option is a part of that great wrath. We'll see. But they're going down. They are going down. Kahala Yahweh Bashem Elishai. Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.